Hello, Steve White, TripBoy89 for SteveVats89. Well, I'm trying to watch Lower Decks. I just watched the third episode. We'll always have Tom Paris. I don't get the show. I'm trying not to hate it for the sake of it. I'm just trying to work it out, and I'm having real trouble because my main problem is the character of Mariner. It's really predictable now. Every episode, no matter what the scenario, what the scene, what the mission, she'll take it over, screw it up, and cause problems for everyone, make everyone's life worse, never apologise for it, never be held accountable for it and get away with it. And somehow she's the hero, she's the main character, we're supposed to like her, we're supposed to follow her. She's not funny. I don't get it. So this episode, there's 3 stories. So I guess the A plot is the story between Mariner and Tindy. And then the second plot would be the one on the ship with Boilerma and Tom Paris, I guess. And the third story, the C story, I guess, would be the one between Rutherford and Shax. So I'll start with the main A plot. Basically, the cranky cat lady doctor, Dr. Tiana, approaches or calls Tindy to her and says, look, I need you to go and get an ancient family relic for me. I need it. Basically, it's her annual in heat period. She's going a bit crazy and she needs basically this item. So she's kind of like going through Spock's Ponfar, but with the cetaceans, it's every 1 year. So they catch a shuttle to some Las Vegas looking planet, which every planet apparently is like some capitalist Las Vegas showground that we sort of go to. They go there, they find what they think is going to be a little relic. What it is a giant scratching pole, which is like basically a cat person sized statue. So they box that up, take it to the shuttle, and of course Mariner has to drag it out, work out what it is, play with it, make fun of it, because basically it's like she's in heat, so it's like a sex toy almost for her to scratch on and that. So of course she's, oh my god, this is so gross, blah, 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 they break it. So of course they break it. Of course they break it. So then they have to spend the rest of the episode trying to fix the problem that they've caused. So they try and get it fixed at a bar, but they need money, so they try and rip off some Nausicaans in a pool game, of course, because that's what they do, because everything in this show is just a repeat of something that happened on one of the other shows. They don't win, it just gets broken even more. They escape them, then Tindy's like, well, let's go to Orion because I have family there, I can get it fixed. And she goes there, and of course she has to be the dominant female, and she's getting it fixed, but then of course they actually green up Mariner so she can get away with being an Orion. She manages to wipe it off her hand somehow, I can't remember how, and then she just becomes brown again. I don't know exactly how it failed, but whatever they were using failed. So of course they have to run for their lives, and in the last minute the scratching pole's already been busted in half. Tindy has to actually drop it to save Mariner, and of course sacrifice her career pretty much, because she's just destroyed this sacred family relic of her superior she's trying to impress by doing this in the first place. So Mariner's totally screwed everything up for her. So they make it back to the shuttle, and do I leave it there or do I finish off the story? I'll finish off the story. Basically, they're talking, and they do realise throughout the whole trip they don't know each other very well. They spend all their time with either Rutherford or Boilerma. They don't really know each other, and especially Tindy's annoyed that Mariner doesn't really take any time to get to know her, or hasn't. So she confesses, look, I have been on many ships and you always leave them, people get transferred off. I don't like to get to know people, I don't like to be open and open myself up, because then you just get hurt when people leave. And it's like, yeah, it's almost character development, but why would you be in Starfleet then? You don't go there for stability and to be in one position. It doesn't make any sense for the character. So yeah, the next story is a little bit easier, shorter. Basically, Boilerma comes back on the ship, but the ship doesn't recognise him because advanced security clearances. So he can't go through any doors. Nothing works for him, but yet no one fixes it for him. So he thinks the smartest thing to do would be to go through the Jeffries tubes to get to the bridge, because he wants to see Tom Paris, who's on the ship, because he wants to get him to sign his Voyager signature plate, collector plate. So, of course, they start using systems and he nearly gets fried. He ends up coming out looking like a Kazon. This is after talking to the plate because he's like delusional from fumes. And Tom Paris attacks him because he thinks it's a Kazon. And then right about that time, Mariner decides to ram the ship with the shuttle because she realizes to help Tindy, she has to damage the shuttle to explain why the ancient family relic is damaged. So she does that, and she says there was a bee and it flew in her face, and it's just stupid. And then the last story, which actually is a bit more complicated than I probably should have put that second. Rutherford finds that Shax is back now. Shax died to save him last season, and he's like, "How's he back?" And I'm like, "We don't talk of it. Nobody knows." And I'm like, "What?" It's like a Starfleet secret. I'm like, "Since when?" It's kind of stupid. Basically, he avoids him for ages, and then he tries to ask him, and then someone else asks him, and just everyone's shocked and aghast, and Shax ends up in tears because he's traumatized by being re-traumatized by reminded of how he came back to the dead or whatever. So he's like, "Oh God, I'm glad that guy took the bullet, but I still need to know." So he ends up jumping him in a turbolift and asking him, and he says, "Look, I need to know so I can forgive myself. I can't let it go." He said, "Fine, I'll tell you." Basically, it's this big, dark, deep secret he starts telling him, and then you just zoom into his face, and he's in terror as he's hearing this. I don't know what this is supposed to be, some supernatural story of like bringing back the dead or something, that all the bridge crew apparently know or something, or the command level officers all know or something. It's ridiculous. It's not funny and it doesn't make any sense. So that's the episode basically. Boilerman eventually gets out. He still is having troubles with the doors and everything, but he's meeting up with Tom Paris, who gave him a black eye to make up and give him drinks or whatever to make up for the fact that he caused all that trouble. And he still is betting on getting his plate signed, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen. So yeah, that's basically the episode. Tindy and that, I guess, get a little closer, but it doesn't seem like real character development because it makes no sense that Mariner would relate to Star Trek, that Starfleet that way, and the idea of not being able to adjust with people moving with rank and that and moving to different ships or something. She really shouldn't be in that sort of environment if that's the sort of environment she wants. So it doesn't make any sense to me. It's not funny. The only part that was almost funny, that I almost laughed at, which I might have laughed at if I was probably not as much of a hater of this show, which I'm trying not to be. I'm consciously trying not to be. When they do finally give her back the damaged box with the scratching pole in it, she's like, "That's okay, I just needed the box." Because, of course, the cat wants to play with the box. And I'm like, it's so stupid and so simple that it was almost funny, and I almost laughed, but I was too bitter to laugh. So I don't know if it really would have been funny or if I would have laughed, because I wouldn't let myself laugh because I was too bitter to laugh. So, because I hate New Trek. And this is the least offensive of all the shows. So I like Boilerman, I like the Cat Lady, I almost like Tindy, I love Rutherford. It's really just Mariner that I don't like, and I don't understand how she's the centre of the show and how she's the main character and how she's the most important and people like her, and she's never gets in trouble. She gets away with everything and screws everything up, but yet never gets any accountability. Just the point of the character in the show and her in the show doesn't make any sense to me. So I struggle with that, and it kind of ruins any comedy that probably would happen, but I don't find the show particularly funny. Or particularly fun. It just sort of happens. It's just she screws up and then everyone has to fix it. And it's just that's every episode. Every episode's becoming really routine now, where every episode is she takes command where she shouldn't. Somehow she has some authority and is allowed to and gets away with it, and she just makes everything worse for everyone. And then everyone spends the episode fixing up her mess, and then she brags about it. I don't get it. So I'm just going to stop waffling on about the fact that I just don't get the show. I don't get this character. I don't get how she's supposed to be aspirational or likable or interesting or badass or anything. I don't get it. Rutherford is still cute. I'm not buying this whole evil, reincarnation of like command officers or anything. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. Please explain to me how if you like this show, how it works for you, what level it works for you, and how Mariner is a good character, and I can someone please explain it to me. I don't get it. I'm trying. I'm really trying. There weren't really any pretty effects or scenes. There was a couple of nice planet shots. That's about it. There wasn't a lot in this episode for me, except for Dr. Towner in the box at the end, which is kind of almost funny. That's about it. Yeah, I'm gonna go.